Welcome to the Food for Thought podcast, where we give you food for your thoughts. I'm your host, Credit Coach Q, and this is my co-host,
Loan Officer Who Cares.
Loan Officer Who Cares, guys. In today's video, we have an exciting one. We are talking about a Gap. And we're not talking about clothes or Michael Strahan teeth. We're talking about one of the biggest gaps in American history, if not the biggest gap in American history, man. Potter, tell them what we're talking about, man.
The wealth gap.
The wealth gap. The wealth gap between what parties are we talking about?
Black America, white America, the wealth gap.
The wealth gap between the whites and the colors.
The whites and the colors. Yeah, let's say the colors. The browns, yeah. The browns. Black and brown. The black and brown.
Exactly. But before we get into the content, guys, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us actually grow into the YouTube algorithm and to help this content reach the masses as it should, partner. This content is probably one of the best pieces of content you're going to find on YouTube, because we actually dive deep into the roots of our problems in the Black America and American history, period. So, yeah, absolutely, man. So, yeah, let's go dive straight into it. Let's dive straight into exactly the root of the problem. From what we gather, every damaging root of Black America obviously starts in slavery, right?
Yeah.
So, in this case, it actually starts at the end of slavery, because the end of slavery is when the gap actually existed. There was no gap during slavery because we wasn't even in the picture.
Right.
But once slavery was abolished, we actually had an opportunity to go into a gap. Now, the gap was a lot larger. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about the roots that they gave us during slavery and the cause of it. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, a lot of things in slavery, though, man, we didn't have anything. We had no ownership, right? We were the property. We came over and were brought over to be the property. We came over and brought over to be the help, if you will.
Yep.
So we were never intended to be the competition, right? So when that freedom happened, okay, now you're free with what? There's no severance pay. There's no severance package. Like when you go in a job, when you have a regular job or something like that, you get a severance package. They decide to fire you or get rid of you or whatever the case may be. There was no severance package for the slave. There was no 40 acres in the mule, right? You didn't get that opportunity. That was taken off the table once Lincoln was assassinated, right? So we didn't get that leap. We didn't get that jump. We didn't get that opportunity to compete.
What do you think? Freedom. What do you think the 40 acres in the mule? And a lot of people have talked about 40 acres in the mule.
Yeah.
I want my 40 acres in the mule, but people really don't understand where it comes from. So where it actually comes from it was actually inside the documentation for our abolishment. It was basically our severance package, as you said. So it was basically us saying that what we were entitled to at the end of slavery. So for all the work that we put in for the hundreds of years, this is what they agreed that we are entitled to at the end of it. And it was the 40 acres and one mule. And like you said, when Lincoln was assassinated, because Lincoln actually wrote that decree, right?
Yes.
So when he was assassinated, that decree and those documentation for that 40 acres and the mule was went to the wind with his death. So yeah, man. So let's talk about the potential of us getting it and the actuality of us not getting it on where we are today.
Man, okay. Imagine if you got it.
Right.
Imagine if those descendants of that slavery who got those 40 acres in the mule, got those 40 acres. Now you build on this land. Now you can develop the land. Now you can sell parts of the land. You can do so many things with this land, because now you have the same opportunities other people have.
Right.
Because when America was established, the people came in, the settlers came in and just took land. They weren't given the land.
Right.
Did the Indians just give them the land?
Right.
Did they just come on? Or did the Mexicans that came over, did they just give them the land, especially in Texas?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Did they just give it to them? They have to have wars and battles, right, for this particular land.
Right.
So land is important, right?
Absolutely.
So you weren't giving anything, right? So you had to figure out, you got your freedom, go figure out how to move on, how to be. So now, even with those hurdles though, okay, you didn't get the 40 acres and the mule. So we had that sense of community. We built up communities. We had the areas where we built up stuff. That still wasn't enough, so people still came in and terrorized those neighborhoods. Just because the people of the color of their skin or whatever. Now, you don't like me. You don't want me. You don't think I matter. Not a problem. Right. But I'm over here developing and building over on my side. Why is that still a problem to you?
So let's talk about, because it's one thing that is essential for the wealth gap to be shortened, but not even just the wealth gap, but the success in Black America is our mental state. Excuse me, our mental state, right? So our mental state is the deciding factor of our success. Regardless of how much money they give us, or how much land they give us, of anything, if we don't have the mental state to actually achieve greatness behind those assets, then we really doing ourselves a disservice. So, and I want to talk about the mental state while we hear of the slave, because the mental state of the slave was so resilient and it's so different from the mental state of a Black man today, even with less resources, even with so much trauma, even with so much going on a day-to-day basis from a slave perspective.
Yeah,
the mental state of that Black man was so resilient. I honestly think if Black men, as we are today, with our mental state, went back to slavery, I think our people would be extinct. Because the only way for us to actually get through that type of torture and that type of iniquity,
trauma,
is for us to be resilient, and us to have hope, and us to actually see the other side and actually want to achieve to it. So, man, the mental state is very, very important, and the mental state of those slaves was like no other, and they transit, and so let's transition to. Not to slavery, but let's transition over to the civil rights movement and the next door behind our freedom, which is the civil rights movement. Because even after we became free, we was still fighting. We
still fighting to be
rights.
Just treated fair. I talked to my 80-some-year-old uncle the other day, and he was talking about. We talked about the civil rights movement and things of that nature. And I was asking, like, what are your ideas? You think Martin Luther King should have done better? Should have asked for better? He said, man, what King was just asking that we be just treated fair. Be treated like human beings. All we was asking was for fair treatment. Right. We weren't asking no more than what's right from a human being perspective. And so my thing is that why do you even have to ask for that? Right. Why do you even have to ask? Why does it have to even be laws written to say, hey, you over there, treat me right, treat me like a person, treat me like I matter, or because you think I don't matter? Because remember, these were laws in place that were okay with not being treated that way. Right. I think even to the day they haven't passed an anti-lynching law. I think I do the research on that a little bit. I think I would ask, but I think they still don't have that passed as of yet.
What is that? What is the anti-lynching law?
Like there's a law that you can't hang people of color. You can't hang nobody and get away with it. You know what I mean? You just can't just hang them and it be okay.
So because it was a point in time where that was okay.
Oh, big time. Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, it was okay, and it was encouraged. You know what I mean, though, especially like if he was a runaway slave or something like that, or whatever. Because honestly, the numbers, if that more people, I don't have the right exact numbers in front of me, but I remember reading that before, is that more people were lynched after slavery than within slavery.
Really?
Yeah, because of that level of hate. You know what I mean, though? Because remember, you had the slavery, then you had the Jim Crow laws, then you had the voting laws, then you had the, the poll taxes, because you couldn't vote without an ID and all that stuff. Because remember, you're newly free, so you can't get that. Well, you can't vote without land because you can't get land. So there was so many hurdles. So that's why I think Black people are so good at being athletes and the people of color, because we always running hurdles. And we always in some kind of track meet, so we always in some kind of way to where if this gets accomplished, then we have to still fight this. If this gets accomplished, we still have to fight this, because you're talking about the civil rights and things of that nature. But then now you have the housing that was passed within there, 1968. Okay, so Black people of color were not getting homes from 1930s all the way to the 1960s something. They didn't have homes.
What happened in 1968?
The housing, the Federal Housing Act happened. Federal Housing Act, yeah. The Federal Housing Act allowed people to, it happened after Martin Luther King's assassination, it allowed people of color to be able to get homes because they had rules and regulations where they weren't lending to Black people just because you weren't getting lending. They were not giving you the opportunity at home ownership. They had redlining, they had things of that nature. So they had things in place to where, okay, now we're going to give you in the game, but we're going to give you here in this area. We're going to make this area not valuable. So you're still fighting another hurdle. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So they had to pass laws just to be treated right, just to get into a home. People coming in fighting for their country, getting promised GI Bill, getting promised lending and things of that nature, just to come back and say no, because you don't fit the description, you can't get you a home.
And you said that happened in 1968?
1968. So
wow.
68 to
1967.
I was born in 72. So from 68 to now, so you're talking about 50-something years of being able to buy a home. of a person of color. It's not that long.
So wow, that's interesting. And for you guys that don't know, this is the loan officer who cares. So he actually been in the trenches for a long time in the housing market and seeing the real estate community and how it is disfigured when it comes to our skin color. So he has a lot of credibility behind what he's saying, especially the history behind the real estate market and how they've been disingenuous to loans for people of color, right?
A big time. And if they do give you loans now, because the mortgage meltdown, we can run on up a little bit now. What happened with the mortgage meltdown in '08? Okay, stated loans, stated income, stated asset loans, called the subprime loans, subprime lending. Black and brown people were affected. You know what I'm saying, though, by those particular numbers. So now you got foreclosures. Now you got to wait 7 years, 11 years or whatever for that to fall off your record. Once again, you got to go renting again. The amount of the income in a household from a renter is way less than the income of a household of a homeowner. So because rent is high, right? So you got all this coming off your assets or whatever. So it's just a dirty game, though, man. It keeps you frustrated. So now, okay, well, we got first time home buy. Well, I need 3% down. 3% down might as well be 100% down. You know what I'm saying, though, to somebody who's just trying to maintain.
Okay, so let's rewind a little bit.
Yeah. Excuse me, I got off track a little bit, man. I got a little razzle dazzle that they say.
Nah, you good, you perfect. Because the reason why I want to rewind is because the only ounce of success that black people had was really closer to slavery than it actually is now. Now, black people are extremely successful now. We have black presidents, we have black entrepreneurs, we have a lot of black public figures that have just broken barriers in all different genres of every asset of life. So
half black president.
So yeah, half black, but you know, we'll take what we can get. Tiger Woods, you feel me? But so yeah, don't get me wrong. We have came a long way, but the amount of success that we acquire on from a community standpoint has not been the same since the massacres of so many different all black cities. Yeah. I was on TikTok the other day and I was bro, it was so sad to see so many black cities.
Yes.
And the history of these cities are underwater.
Yes.
Underwater. And they have all of these different figures and all of different memorabilia of these black cities, proving that these cities was in existence, and all of them underwater. And there was a lot of them. And then we have issues like Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street is probably the one of the most popular black communities ever established, because they did it. They snapped when they created Black Wall Street. They had banks, they had supermarkets, they had schools, they had people, welders, they had everything. They had a full ecosystem, a real full ecosystem
functioning. Yes,
and for them to take that from us, man, that's why I want to rewind, because that was a big milestone for black history. It let us know that we can really achieve greatness even after slavery, because we was always great. Our greatness from before slavery supersedes everything that we doing after slavery, and probably even after.
But that greatness doesn't get really talked about a lot, though.
You know what I'm saying?
That
greatness is not talked about. We used to rule the world. So before we ruled the world, before Caucasians ruled the world, we ruled the world, and that greatness is, like you said, not talked about. But going back on point, we showed that we can achieve success from a community standpoint, and we haven't really showed a reference of that since that time. And that's why I talked about so heavy on the mindset, because the mindset of those men and women that created those communities, like them all black cities and the Black Wall Street, those type of communities was created with not only the genes and the black men and the black women, of course, but also the mind state. The mind state that they created was tremendous, and we loved each other. Right, and that's the only way we could actually achieve those types of success. Of that. And that's why I want to focus on the success. Community. I don't want to overshadow our success even after slavery, with the drama and the turmoils that we still going through and the unfairness and everything. Because what I love about Black Wall Street and all of those black communities and those ecosystems that existed after slavery is that it really showed a part of us that I wish that we had today. You know what I mean? It showed a brotherhood, it showed a sisterhood that we can achieve everything, even with no resources. You feel me?
With togetherness,
even, like just with togetherness and just with the bare minimum, just with the bare minimum and the equal opportunity, we can create anything and everything that we want. We can create our own greatness. We made our own table
with a common goal,
and
there was a common goal though.
Exactly,
because there was a common enemy.
Exactly,
there was a common enemy.
Exactly.
Now there's different enemies.
That's why I wanted to talk about segregation so much, because segregation, like the implementation of segregation, did more hurt and dismay to our community than it did more justice. Because we fought for segregation for such a long time. We fought for it. Martin Luther King fought for it. A lot of people fought for segregation for such a long time.
For integration, for integration or segregation.
Oh, integration. Integration. They fought against segregation. My fault. They fought against segregation. And they fought against it. They fought against it for so long that they really didn't see the blessing of us naturally integrating on a high scale together. And the only reason that they had success with those accomplishments of dismantling segregation is because we did it on a community standpoint. We rose together as a people and did that. You know what I'm saying? We came to a common goal. But what if we use that same energy that we use on segregation and civil rights, and we took that energy and created our own community?
Yeah.
And stopped trying to sit at another person's table and try to feel equally right at another person's table where you can make your own table.
That I think we talk about it though, the mindset. Once again, it's the mindset. Can you do it? Because you talk about the Black Wall Streets to those things and Tulsa and all those kind of stuff, right? Now, because it was destroyed and the way it was destroyed and to the effectiveness that it was destroyed and to the magnitude of the way it was destroyed, I'm going to set an example. You can't do this. This can't be done. If you do it, we're going to destroy it again and again and again. There wasn't one successful black city that got destroyed. There were several. You know what I'm saying? And so there was examples said to, okay, we hate you not doing nothing because you're lazy. Okay, now you're doing something. We still hate you because you're doing something. So that level of hate and frustration, you get frustrated after a while. Like, where can I win?
Do you think we can do that today?
What, build the Black Wall Streets and stuff like that? Oh, big time. But the love has to go back again. The level of love, because even with so much of the society and the community, there's not a lot of trust for whatever reason, and rightfully so, because there's some things that what people have done to hinder and hurt that trust. We got to build that level of trust back up. You know what I mean? Though we're truly saying, "I am my brothers and sisters keeper."
Right.
That really, that level of trust, that level of community.
Why do you think the level of trust left? Like, what do you think happened? The reason why we stopped hating, stopped loving each other?
I think because we started accomplishing different goals. We started having different enemies. You know what I mean? Though different avenues to put our money, to put our resources, versus going down to Mr. Just a Willie Earl store or going down there. So we knew we supported him because he supported us, right? So, but when integration happened, what happened to Mr. Willie Earl store? Because we had options. So I think loyalty is only good as your option. Remember, we didn't have options, so we had loyalty. Now we got options, but we don't have the loyalty. You dig what I'm saying? And so that's what I believe what happened, that we got more avenues to put our faith and our trust in so many different places to drop our
I
stuff.
feel like the conversation went like this. I feel like they was like, man, we cannot destroy these people. Like, we cannot destroy them. Like, we could take their resources away, we could take their body away, but we cannot take their mind. And that's what we need to focus on.
The mind.
Stop focusing on the body. Stop focusing on the resources. Stop focusing on all that bullshit and focus on their mind. Let's focus on their mind.
That's a food for thought right there.
That's a food for thought,
That's
man.
a
Shout out to
food
Food
for
for
thought
Thought
right there.
podcast,
Shout out to
man.
Food for Thought
Shout out to
podcast.
Food for Thought
That's
podcast,
a
man.
food for
That
thought
was
right
definitely
there.
a nugget. But that's why I honestly feel like what happened. You know, we hear all the time that these big executives and these elites these Illuminati and all these other people having these tables set where they actually making big decisions. You know, I watched some old videotapes of what's his name, Malcolm X, and he was talking about how the FBI was trying to infiltrate him, you know, and how they was like, they got the recording and how they was like trying to ask him questions, and I feel like that's what it is. I feel like it's infiltration. You
It's
know what I'm
always
saying?
infiltration.
I feel like it's definitely infiltration. I feel like now they said, man, fuck the body, fuck that the resources. Don't even talk about none of that. Let's get into their mind, because we take their mind,
Break their mind.
we'll break their whole community down. And where do we start with their mind? Like, I feel like it's so many different symbolisms on all these different entertainment channels, whether
big time.
it's the movies,
They
whether
playing
it's
with the devil.
music, man.
They playing with
man, what
the
was
devil.
who was the devil? The devil was the leader of music.
Music
You
ministry.
feel me? So I
leader
feel
of
like
music
it's
with the-
always gonna be.
I think it was the horns. I think. No, maybe not the horns.
What
I don't
you
know.
mean?
I mean, there's a brass section. I think I can't remember what section or whatever. I know it's music.
What about 'em?
was it all the music?
Yeah,
Was
so his body was made out of wind instruments.
Yeah, wind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they say he was gorgeous. You know, we
Yeah.
ain't gonna give you too much credit.
Yeah,
we ain't
yeah,
give you
yeah.
no credit, my boy. But for the most part, yeah, he always gonna have. That's his genre. That's his gift. Music. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, and music have some of the best symbolisms for any type of influence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You ever heard that song? Nuck, give you buck.
Yeah, and then
Nuck,
you do-
give you
man,
like, bro. If that song don't prove that music give you influence, I don't know what do. You feel me? And you have to, you know, you have to, you know, be able to relate to black culture to understand that song particular. But every culture should have a song that they can relate to, where it just make their whole body change, their whole feeling, their whole spirit change, whether it's a good feeling, bad feeling, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And that's what music is. So I feel like our music have changed immensely. We went from Smokey Robinson and the Temptations talking about love and happiness and brotherhood, sister.
Again,
You feel me?
the battle was still there. The fight was still there, because when they walked out their doors, they still dealt with being a black man. They still dealt with being a black woman. See, sometimes we got that idea that assimilation has happened and that there is no problems. Look, we've accomplished this.
Right.
Look, we've accomplished that. That hate isn't there. Oh, that hate, they really like me. So we get that, what that Paul Mooney say, they would say the illusion of inclusion, if you will. And then you get comfortable and you put your guards down. But then they had that comment in your face. They may have to perform at these ceremonies, all these singers and stuff like that, perform in these areas where they can't even eat in the restaurant. They can't even eat in the same restaurant that they got to sing in. You dig what I'm saying? You know, so my thing is that they kept singing that music because the battle was still in front of them, and so it was still something to fight for. I think that's what a lot of times nowadays people don't feel like there's nothing to fight for, or they do feel like something to fight for, but they feel like these people not gonna appreciate me no way, so why fight for them? These people not gonna care no way, so why fight? You see what I'm saying though? The mindset. So that level of apathy has set in to where no one has cared all these years, and even those people that have cared, they've killed them, they've done away with them. So why would I put my life on the line for some people that may say thank you and may not say thank you? I pass. You see what I'm saying? And that's what you have. You don't have that level of I'll take the mountain and run with it, because they set so many examples of if you do try to get it and you reach a certain level, we're gonna get you. We got something for you. So the mindset,
everything has been desensitized from a negative standpoint in our community, man. From you know the defaming of our women to the defaming of our brother, you know,
Yes.
like to killing each other,
Yes.
to you know breaking up and fucking up families and households, like
Easy to
all
walk away.
Like all of that has been desensitized, and now you have these trends of everybody want to be toxic. You know, like everyone finding the toxic characteristic of themselves and then relating to it, and now it's a trend to be toxic, and now we going into the realm of desensitizing ourselves with toxicity.
Well, transition of pain. People have pain, so they got to be able to feel that pain somewhat. You know, they got to be able to cope some kind of way. You know, saying let's keep on pushing enterprise, but they got to be able to cope, right? You know what I mean? Though, so be able to cope with the pain. So a lot of times people don't have coping mechanism. So what is saying? Hurt people.
Yeah.
So they redistribute that pain some kind of way. So we got 400-500 years of pain. We got to be able to redistribute it, man. We need therapy. We never got that therapy.
So
we never got that healing.
Okay.
You still got hurdles, but you never got healing.
Right.
So for every hurdle, there was no healing, bro. So you piling up another hurdle, but there's no healing. Another hurdle, no healing. Another hurdle, no healing. A little frustration we're probably gonna set in.
Yeah, but let's not all blame the white man, even though he has a big part of it. But
some culpability has to be on
us. Let's not act like or discredit the black dollar, because the black dollar is powerful. You know what I mean? We just don't use the power correctly,
the right way.
We implement trillions of dollars, and I think we generate more capital as a culture than anyway. We spend more money than anybody.
Christmas time's coming up.
We spend more money than anybody, but we spend money on Jordans. We spend trillions of dollars. I mean, billions of dollars on Jordans. We spending billions of dollars on liquor. We spending billions of dollars on weaves. We spending billions of dollars on all this bullshit, and we don't have anything.
So then there's your solution, then, right? So instead of getting Jordans, let's buy $200 worth of Nike stock. Who's the hair company that you buy this hair from? What's the name of this hair company? Are they traded on the stock market? Go get some of them. Who's the company that you're buying the liquor from? Are they openly traded on the stock market? So if you want to buy the liquor, that's cool. But then if you putting those companies in play, then if you invested in those companies, they're going to be lasting companies, right?
Come on,
so
man.
Because they got it easy, man, to get it now, man, with the investment. Cash out. You can invest on Cash Out right now. You can go to Coinbase or whatever. It don't take a lot to get in. So instead of buying this stuff to just going to be, because we're going to leave here one day, right? So what are we leaving behind? You know what I mean, though? I mean, okay, shoes, clothes, and all that is nice.
A big ass bill.
You know what I'm saying, though? But what have we left behind? What assets are we passed down? So we're talking about transferring and help closing this wealth gap. Life insurance help close the wealth gap. Having investments help close that wealth gap. Having things to pass down besides, hey, can we help get a GoFundMe to help take care of these expenses, for these metal. So we got to be able to have better assets. So like you said, we have all this money, but we got to move it besides those name brand stuff to make us feel good. You know the name brand I like?
What?
My name brand.
Come on.
The logo, anything I'm associated with.
Come on.
That's what I like to wear.
Yeah.
That's what I like to rock.
Yeah.
Just as proud as I would Louis Vuitton or Gabici, whatever they call it.
Right.
Whatever the names they got.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about, though, man? Whatever name. What I'm saying, though, brother, is that we, like you said, the mindset has to change. And so that we have to redirect the resources. As you say, all those other things that were in place that were the laws, regulations, things of that nature, as you say, the things that we can't control, redirection of the resources.
Why do you think that we care so much about that shit? Because everybody don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? Like the way we care about weaves, eyelashes, rims,
everybody don't care about that.
Jordans, liquor. Like we spend our money collectively straight on bullshit.
Yeah.
As a culture. Let's talk about the psychology behind the stupidity.
Lack
of what?
I don't have it. I never had it. I know I got the opportunity to get it. You know what I mean, though? Because remember, if you was outside the house, outside the big house, you wondered so much.
Okay.
So when I get a chance to get this, I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna feel good about it because again, that validates me. That gives me that dopamine.
Right.
That gives me that same way like a like or love on social media. It gives off a hype. It gives off a love. You know what I'm saying? Though people like that because they want to feel that level. Like you said, hey, man, I spent a lot of money on this, and then now, but also you like that, but then at the same time you're nervous because you made yourself a target as well. Because just like you spent a lot of money on that, other people know you spent a lot of money on that.
Right.
And so if I'm struggling, guess what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get
I'm black, and I'm a black man. I ain't never been that type of person. I'm young, and you feel me.
That's
I
good.
ain't never ever I used to. I ain't gonna say I never ever because I ain't never been no Jordan person. I ain't never been no real materialistic materialistic collective person. You know what I'm saying? Where
Right.
I'm collecting materialistic bullshit,
Right.
and I'm not worth anything. I've never subscribed to that ideology. I've never subscribed to that theory at all.
Right.
And the reason I haven't is because I feel like it's stupid. I
Yeah.
feel like it's stupid as hell for you to have a Benz and you living in the projects, or you living in a hood
Yeah.
on Section 8, or you got food stamps and you in a rat race. See, the thing with me is getting out the rat race. That was always my objective.
As debt-free as
Is to
possible.
get out the rat race. I don't want to feel like I have to do something in order to live.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And that's what happens though.
What?
And that's what happens. People do so much because of that, because you have so many bills and so much of that stuff. You gotta stay in this rat race
Yeah.
because far be it for me to get this stuff. See, it's one thing to get it and maintain and struggle to maintain it. They will struggle to maintain it versus to lose it, because that image of me losing it is so much worse. You see what I'm saying though? Than me having to do what I gotta do to maintain it.
Yeah.
If that mean working a couple of jobs, that mean doing whatever the case may be, because this image, I feel this way. Like you said, it's all about getting that mindset versus the
Mindset
next
is
person in the
everything.
world I could give it two beans about.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's what
that.
make immigrants so successful. Gary Vee talk about it all the time. He talk about how immigrants come over here and get rich in 2 years because they don't buy stupid shit. And he said just like that. They don't buy stupid shit. We don't buy stupid shit. My parents never taught me to buy stupid. I've never wanted to buy stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about none of that stupid stuff because we don't have nothing collectively. We have to actually go get things, and then like Grant Cardone said, he say the stupid shit too. That's the term. Like
Yes.
going back, like he was in the G-Wag and he was flexing. He was like, man, I didn't go out and buy stupid shit with my own capital. I go get assets and allow the assets to buy the stupid shit. Like if you want to go buy something stupid, find something to pay for it for you.
Yes, rather
You see what
than
I'm saying?
coming out of your own funds to try to
Exactly.
do it, killing yourself.
Exactly.
Okay, even if we're talking about buying stuff. Christmas coming up. Holidays coming up. There's going to be a lot of overspending, a lot of extra spending, a lot of whatever. This is the challenge that I would do for people, and this is what I'm doing. I don't take the things for people and not use myself. Challenge. If you have people in your family, right? Okay, you're going to give them presents and things of that nature. Most people got cash out, right? Most people have a Cash App account, right? Mm-hmm. If they like some certain things, the hair and the liquor and the this, that, and the third, have them go search those ticker symbols for those things. And just
Search
start it
what?
off, the ticker symbols for those particular items, like Coca-Cola, if you like Coke or whatever.
What is the
And
ticker symbol? You
like
gotta,
it's
you gotta
the
assume
it's
that
the
everybody's
symbol.
slow.
Like say if you go into Cash App and you go to the little squiggly lines, like right, it's like a little arrow button. That's where the stocks are right there on Cash App. Okay, you go in there, then you search it up top. There's a search box on there, and just type in Coca-Cola. It'll pull up Coca-Cola and it will tell you what that stock symbol is for Coca-Cola. Okay, the privately traded company, and let you know the price and things of that nature. It'll let you get in with at less as $1. All the way up to to the max or whatever that it allows to get into that particular stock. If you drink Coca-Cola, I encourage you to buy $10 worth of Coca-Cola stock, right? Every month, buy $10 worth of that stock, okay? And then say $40. Set your $40, $50 budget. So if you're going to give your family something for Christmas and say the gift was going to cost $50, $60, $70, whatever that gift was going to cost, Cash App them that money and then have them invest those money into some stocks and then diversify. Now you're making them investors and they can put that money to work for them. Do it for a year. Let's just see what happens. I saw this challenge on YouTube and I decided to do it myself. And I'm going to do it for my family as well. And I'm interested to see how it works out.
Man,
and I encourage y'all to do that.
Man, Food for Thought podcast, man. Like and subscribe to the channel, man. That was a nugget. You understand me? That was an actual nugget. He broke it down step by step, exactly what you need to do. And he actually gave you a small epiphany. He gave you a small mental shift by saying, if you like to drink Coca-Cola, buy $10 worth of Coca-Cola, and you'll actually be an owner of Coca-Cola.
Yes.
And that small trajectory on a collective basis will change our community dramatically. Just that small nugget that you gave them by turning yourself to an instant investor.
Yes.
Technology have made it where you don't
easy.
have to have a middleman to be an investor. You could be an investor and do everything from this phone right here. Everything that you need to do can be done on one mobile device, and you can make passive income on your mobile device and actually grow your portfolio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, your portfolio is so substantial that you out of the rat race. And you can't work a job for 10 years and get out the rat race. Most of them. You can't work most jobs and get out the rat race in 10 years. It's impossible.
Yeah.
You know, but changing the way you think, and $10 don't sound like a lot, but if you invested $10 a month for 10 years into a stock that's going to rise 50, 75, 100%, man, that's passive income, man. That's a nugget, man. Food for Thought podcast. Like and subscribe to the channel, man.
Please do. Please do.
If you like any of this. Now, let's talk about, let's dive more into the mental state, man, of our community, because I feel like this is the catalyst for our success going forward. You know, I feel like in order for us to achieve the amount of success that Black Wall Street created, or those cities that actually created with limited resources, we have to focus majority on our mindset. So with that being said, I feel like the music industry is a big root of why us as a Black community is defaulting. Like I said, we have been desensitized. Well, we hear a song, and I'm a product of this. Like, my playlist and my music is not Beethoven or nothing positive like that. You know, I have hip hop in my music too, but I see the issue. You know, but right. I call a spade a spade. You know, right. like I have hip hop in my music too, but for a fact, it is so disheartening to see the influence that they have on most individuals, especially the youth. You know, they talking about this drill music and how you can kill each other. Then they doing these beefs, and these beefs that's actual real gang beefs are going viral, and they making diss tracks about the viral, and then all these other people are emulating that exact demonic behavior where they feel like it's okay to start a gang and start a beef, and the gangs ain't even gangs. They like gangs ain't people making up. It ain't even like a Blood or Crip or some old rooted gang. It ain't even know. And you can always do this. That's why I'm talking about it so heavy, because it can be an issue that can be nonstop. You know, if you don't bring it to a head, because you can always be in high school and be like, man, we gonna call us the ghetto money boys. Yeah, and the ghetto money boys not into it with the East Side money getters. You know what I'm saying? And now they going back and forth, and they trying to emulate what they see they idols emulate, which is the music. That's why I say the mindset is so important. Yeah. And you parenting this mindset is so important for your kids. And just because it has a good melody, that's because it got a good cadence, just because it has a good beat.
Well, that's how it catches you, though. That's how it catches you.
That's the demon of it.
You get bees. That's
the evilness of it. Somebody told me.
It has to be attractive.
I think you told me something. It was about, I was like, man, the devil cannot be everywhere at the same time. You know, he's not like God. You know, God is omnipresent. He everywhere. The devil is not everywhere. Mm-hmm. You know, he's at one place talking to one person, and his demons is everywhere. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? His demons is a lot of demons. And I was like, man, I wonder how the devil just influence everything. He's like, music. This old cat told me music. And he was like, man, how you think the devil was every place at once? He every place at once through his music, through his rhythm. You know what I'm saying? The frequency that's in his music. Yeah. Kanye was talking about it. And people think Kanye's slow, but for the most part, Kanye is a little genius.
But they have to make him that way, though, man, because, again, once you start exposing the truth and things of that nature, that people start calling you credit, they're crazy, you automatically discredit you. Yeah. The same reason why, like, when they shoot an unarmed black man, well, the first thing they do is bring up his criminal record. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, guess what, then? He was a criminal. I mean, what do you mean? Come on, man. It's criminal. You know what I mean? What? Right. You know, so that's what happens, though, man. So people automatically want to discredit you and call you crazy, and so they throw those terms out just so people stop listening to him, because if you say, "Oh, he crazy," well, then guess what? Then I'm not going to. They're going to dismiss what he said. Mm-hmm. There's nothing he says going to be validated. Right? You know what I'm saying? Because we call him crazy, but there's some nuggets in that stuff that he's saying.
Yeah, I think he is a little crazy. I don't think he crazy like they make him. I think that he have a few screws. I think he got a few screws loose, no cap. But I think that he know exactly what he's talking about. Yeah. I feel like the filtration of Kanye West can be foreshadowed a little bit, you know, versus his insanity. He's not insane. but he doesn't have a filtration. He's gonna tell you exactly.
Some people don't need a filter. They don't like to have a filter.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the frustration part
I
comes
don't
in.
have a filter.
I don't like to have one. So that's where the frustration, I think, comes into the point to where you don't want to be filtered. I'm a grown man. I should be able to say what I want to say. I'm successful. I'm rich.
Yeah.
I'm wealthy. I'm a billionaire. You know what I mean? How dare you tell me what I can't say?
Yeah.
So you still deal with the frustration of, well, no matter how rich I am,
That's
I'm
like
still
Trump.
controlled.
That's how Trump is too. Trump
Yeah.
Trump
You can't control me. You can't control me. You know what I mean?
Trump, you
That's,
can't
who wants to be
control
controlled?
Yeah, you can't
You know what I mean?
control
You
Trump.
get billions of dollars. You mean to tell me somebody can still control
There's
me?
a lot of
As
people control. I mean,
as a
I
being?
think like majority of the world controlled in some way, form, or fashion, and they just don't know it. They just going into a rhythm. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Everybody, a statistic in some way.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's the music. Kanye West was talking about. He was talking about the frequency. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about some beat or frequency or key or something like that he said that they putting into songs now that basically.
The 808.
The 808, yeah, there you go. You heard it. Look at them, yeah. So the 808, I don't know, the scientificness of it, but I know for a fact that what he was saying had a lot of mirror. He was talking about some deep shit, and he was saying that it was basically soundless.
Music is influences, man. Music is influence. Why you think right now they're so quick to push the button on the Christmas music in the stores? You know what I mean? The music has influence, man. Suggestive influence. You know what I mean? So you just
Suggestive
constantly,
influence.
subconsciously. Well, let me go grab this. Let me do that. So this is just all suggestive. Think about it. Every show has music in it. Every commercial now music. This be a time when commercials they don't have music. Was it about music? So again, there's been studies. There's been things shown how effective music and melodies and everything and jingles and stuff are to
Wow.
sell the consumer.
You said wow. I've never seen a TV show without music.
Think about it.
That's crazy.
Think about it.
That's
Think
crazy.
about it. You gotta have that music. You gotta, because it's totally different without the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Because you have to have it. And the songs, believe me, they're picking them for a reason. They set up a soundtrack. They have studies on this thing. They have editing. They have producer. They have people that put this here, put this here, put this there. Things are placed for a reason.
Right.
Ads are placed for a reason.
Right.
Music is placed for a reason. Sounds are placed for a reason.
Right.
Beats are placed for a reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? To
Right.
mess with your subconscious in your mind because it's all suggestive programming, man.
Man, so the suggestive program is perfect, and I feel like there is an impossibility for us to do everything so conveniently. The same. Like we buy the same amount, we buy the same type of alcohol, we buy the same type of products, alcohol, weed, Jordans, like we buy the same exact thing. It's crazy,
Creatures of habit.
unbelievable how similar our spending habits is similar collectively for a community.
Yeah.
No other community buy similar products like us. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Yeah.
buy the same exact shit. Like
So imagine channeling that and putting that in a particular cause. Okay, I tell you what, for every $10, $20 you spend on cognac right over here, we got $5 that's going into this particular fund for this end of the year. And this is what we're going to do here to go toward this particular community. Okay, so we're going to do this. So whatever solution is for every community, we put funds toward this, and we're going to work on the worst tire first. You ever been to a car place, right? Had your car looked at. I want to get one tire replaced, right? I want to get one tire replaced. They go jack it up. Hey, sir, come on out, sir. Come here, let me show you something. You need this tire replaced, this tire replaced, this tire replaced, and you only got $300, okay? And the one tire costs $250. What do you tell them? I need the worst one replaced. I don't have everything I need right now to get all of them, but give me the worst one.
Yeah.
I want to fix the worst issue.
Yeah.
Okay. So as we go through these different communities, give me the worst issue. What's the worst issue? This issue may be crime. This issue may be drug. This issue may be homelessness. This issue may be you dig what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
Predators coming into the community, taking these missing children and stuff like that. So we may have organ harvesting. You dig what I'm saying though? That's a real issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So let's go in and just work with let's fix the worst tire first in these communities. Now you saw assets come because again it's spending. If you're gonna spend, no problem spending, but now you spend it with a purpose. You dig what I'm saying, though, man? I know some of these ideas, some of these things sound like a utopia, crazy place, and there may be people that's actually doing them. If there are, get at us if you're doing them. Let's figure out a way we can all communicate together and try to
Absolutely.
get some things done.
Absolutely.
But it has to be, like I said, some resources set aside though, because the problems are so big, man. The problems are bigger than just one person.
Man,
You know what I mean?
let's talk about wealth in general. Let's talk about how to achieve wealth and some of the standards and some of the basis of wealth. So, for instance, wealth is assets, real estate, capital, corporations, things like that. Those are variations of wealth. Now, for us to bridge the gap where we are getting more real estate, where we are getting more assets, where we are getting more capital, where we're getting collectively more wealth. What do you think that we need to do collectively? Like, if you went into a neighborhood where they said, okay, we want you to change your neighborhood wealth gap for this one particular neighborhood, this small set of neighborhood, what would be the first three things you do into the neighborhood?
I put some interject some housing because I know how big housing is in the neighborhood. I would do affordable housing community. I would take affordable housing and put $100,000 or less. Every house $100,000 or less, right? Especially if it's in a low income area. Now you're a homeowner before long. I'm not going to put too much of the cost in to take the house. Definitely got to get some profit or whatever into it to make it make sense or whatever. But if the house costs just say $85,000 to build or whatever, set it up for $100,000 price. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, now you got people that's going to be homeowners sooner than later, and now you don't have to wait 30 years. You got this house paid off in 10 to 15, and now you can either refinance it, cash out, build another house, start flipping. So that way, that's what I would start at first. You know, because a lot of money people go out every month goes to rent, goes to people, go to landlords, go to people that don't really care about them as people, but they want their money every month. And so here comes the rat race getting discouraged because I got a water leak over here that they won't fix, or I got this electricity issue over here that won't get fixed because I don't own this property, so I don't have the right to say no more. So yeah, we're grown, but we're still getting treated like little kids because another adult has control over us as far as the property or the heat or the AC or whatever the case may be. So I would go with the housing. That would be one of my biggest main issues because I walk in that lane and I see that's one of the biggest wealth building tools. You see what I'm saying though? That's why I would go with the housing first.
Right. So what I do is I evaluate exactly what the issue is, obviously, but for the most part, I'll see one of the biggest and best things that you can do is go towards the youth and focus on them, because majority of the subset of people in our age bracket or a little bit older than me is, I'm not saying like they stuck in their ways or anything like that, but the youth is the future. You know what I mean? And they still have time to not only implement right away, but to also teach the implementation to their kids right behind them. So I feel like the next generation needs to be attacked, and I feel like to give them like me and you was talking about the situation, and you was basically saying that your city doesn't have avenues for the kids to go to.
No.
So and most cities don't.
Yeah.
And most cities don't. Most cities give the kids opportunity. Like, all kids want to make money. No kid going through high school, especially a black kid, gonna tell herself like, man, I'm gonna be broke. No. Or because college is not an opportunity for a lot of black kids. They don't even think about it, you know. But they definitely not thinking about being broke. Yeah. So you have to give them two options. You have to give them options. You have to give them options to not be broke. And a lot of kids that go into selling drugs and doing drugs, selling drugs and being a drug dealer, they necessarily don't even want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
They just feel like that's the only option.
Some kids do it because they want to be cool. I seen that too, but for the most part, they don't do. They do not want to do that. They have to. They feel like I have to do this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like their mother didn't raise them like that. Yeah. Their mother didn't raise them to be.
That's
like,
the conflict,
right? You know what I'm saying? Like the mom fine just beat their ass. Like, where you get this from? You weren't raised like this. And I gotta do what I gotta do. I see you struggling. You feel me? Yeah. And because there is no options for the kids to go like centers for them, I feel like them taking. We talked about this in the last episode. Them taking the trades out of schools, the communities did a very big disservice, because the wage gap went from this to this. You feel me? Because at first, all of those jobs were from the Black Wall Streets, and all of those workmen and all of those people that built those communities, they built those communities off the strength of the trades that they learned. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. The non-paid trades.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And then the jobs that funded the Civil Rights War, as we talked about last episode, was funded through tradesmen. You know what I'm saying? Those electricians, those carpenters, those iron workers, those tradesmen was the ones that was actually the black fathers that funded
so bring trade schools back.
Huh?
Bring trade schools
Yeah, that's what
back.
I do. I definitely bring trade schools back because I feel like that is one of the biggest catalysts. First of all, it gives them options.
Yeah.
And it gives them an opportunity to get in industries that's very high paying.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
It's
yes.
always going to be needed. You know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
definitely,
So it's
definitely.
not like you get into an industry like you could in college. You can go to college and major into something that you will never ever make no money on or never ever get a job on.
This is true.
But
you still got your student loans, though.
But you still got the student
You
loan.
still got the student
But
loan.
a trade,
You got to trade forever.
there's not a lot of trades you ain't coming out making no money.
That's why I love being a loan officer.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a trade.
Yeah,
You get a
it
trade.
really.
Can't nobody take it from you.
like exactly. So like I ain't never seen nobody say I got this trade and I ain't making no money, man. Every
Yeah.
tradesman I ever seen, whether
making
you an
money.
electrician, carpenter, iron worker, mechanic,
Truck driver still making a
truck
killing.
driver, truck
Still-
driver. Any trade man can, as soon as you come out, you can be making 6 figures a year, and that's an option.
The plumbers are retiring.
The
The
plumbers.
electricians are retiring.
Exactly.
The carpenters are
Exactly.
retiring.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
that's what I do. I definitely focus on the tradesmen, and I make sure that I'm implementing those options for those generations
That's
to
good.
come,
Yeah.
because they
That
took
makes
them out on purpose.
Oh,
They
big
took
time.
them out
Well, to make you
on
independent.
purpose.
To make you independent.
So they took them out on purpose. I will
Yes.
put them back in on purpose
Yes,
to
that's good. I like that.
to redirect that.
I
You
like
feel
that.
me?
I like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that.
Food for Thought podcast. Like and subscribe
Food
to
for
the
thought.
channel, man.
Like and subscribe.
to the channel, man. We giving nuggets today, man. We were talking about the gap in American history, man. And to give you a nutshell, it's terrible, you know. And it used to be a lot more sided on the physical and the psychological of what the white man did to the black community, but the white man has done their job, and they just sitting back, chilling us and watching us destroy ourselves.
Yeah, they set it
You know
on
what I'm
automatic.
saying?
Set it on
They put it on
autopilot.
autopilot.
Put it on
You feel me?
autopilot.
Like there is no, they don't have to have those FBI agents that follow Michael X around, following black people around. No, everything on autopilot. You gonna kill yourself. You gonna drink lean and all this other bullshit and pop
Yes.
Percocets and all. Like they
Thanks
made
for making
drug
our job
dealing cool.
easy. Yeah.
I mean, being a crackhead cool. You
Yeah.
feel me? And you gonna do all that. And we don't gotta do nothing no more. You
Yeah.
feel me?
That's the
And
plan. It's the
we,
plan.
we don't gotta do nothing because we got your influencers. We have them by the road. We got them by the
We
public.
pick your
tip.
heroes for
You
you.
see what I'm saying? We pick
your
your heroes. Ain't no more Jesse Owens. Ain't no more Malcolm X. Ain't no.
No. Got
None of
Nas X
them.
though.
Huh?
How's that work for you?
Nas X.
We got Nas X. We took Malcolm. Okay. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. You know we
talk
not.
about it.
Yeah.
You got
We're
it.
not trying to get y'all to unlike and
Yeah,
subscribe.
right,
but
right.
continue to try-
All in the same video.
we like him. No, I don't. And they got Old Town Road on right now. I dare you. But yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying though. So it's all about solutions though, and so we got to look deep inside and figure out really what's going to be the solution in yourself and do what you can do within yourself and within your lane. And don't get outside your lane, you know, and stay within yourself because we all got power to be a solution.
Yeah.
You know, but we just can't sit up and every time we get together, like said Dr. Neely Fuller say, we can't talk about the problem all the time. We got to come with some solutions,
Right.
And
So-
some stuff that's going to be tangible.
Right. So we gave you some tangible. Before we get out, I definitely want to talk about. I want to dive a little bit deeper on, like you said, the tangibles of what we can do as a collective. Like we talked about the real estate. We talked about the trades. Now I do want to dive into credit really quick. Now, not because I'm Credit Coach Q or anything like that, but because credit is a great obstacle for you to be able to create generational wealth if you utilize it correctly. Now, a lot of people that get into credit initially get into it incorrectly because there is no tools, there is no rules, there is no schools that are actually going to teach you anything about credit. But if you can actually leverage your credit at an early age and create financial freedom just off leveraging credit alone. And you don't need a lot of capital. You don't need a lot of opportunity. You don't need a lot of resources. All you need is some information. You need to understand how to leverage your credit, how to be financially responsible. And for instance, I'll give you a quick example. You can build your credit. You can get at 18 years old, by 19, you can start your credit journey, get a Navy Federal account or a Capital One. They both work the same. They relationship banking. So the credit score with relationship institutions are not only merited off your credit score. So you can get a $25,000, $50,000, $80,000 personal loan, car loan, or whatever, just because you maintain a good relationship with your bank or with your institution. So relationships with your institutions is very, very important. Do not go into a relationship with a bank, especially if you young, and think that I'm going to mess it up because this is what I was taught. I was taught the overdraft rule. You know what I'm saying? I can stay in front of the overdraft.
Yeah.
You feel me? Don't do that. Stay in front of the relationship that you have with the creditor at all times, because it adds up. Like I said, you can take that relationship and accumulate 25,000. We teach that on the Credit Coach Q channel. Head over to the Credit Coach Q channel if you want to learn any of those aspects. But for the most part, like I said, you can take those that capital, invest it. You can get a $75,000 loan with Navy Federal just off your relationship with them, a decent credit score, and get 5 cars off Turo. I mean, 5 cars, buy 5 cars and put them on Turo and rent them out and create a passive income and make 5 figures a month.
Because Turo keeps the vehicles, right? You just buy your vehicles, you send them to them, and they just house the vehicles.
Turo is an app where you own the vehicles, and people, everyday people, come in and rent your vehicle like Hertz.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So you got all your vehicles, but Turo's an app where it's like Uber. They go in there and y'all meet up, and then y'all exchange the keys, tell them the rules and everything, and then they pay the fee through Turo. You feel me? And you can do that with Navy Federal, you know? And you don't need nothing from that. You don't need nothing but the relationship with them and good, positive financial relationship history with them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. It's at the end of the day, man, we can't keep blaming white people. We can't keep blaming institutions. We can't keep blaming systems. We have to take responsibility for us, especially as a financial advisor and a person that teach financial literacy. For me to see trillions of dollars of us collectively being spent on so much stupid stuff, where I know for a fact, if we put those trillions of dollars into any type of collective community ecosystems, we would flourish dramatically.
Yeah.
So you can't blame systems and white people. Yeah, they have structured the uneven playing field. They have put us on an uneven playing field, but it's our job to take that playing field and make it a fucking paradise.
Make it a garden. Make it a
garden Eden. You understand me? Yeah. So that's what we need to do. We need to, and that's what the Black Wall Street blacks did. They took they unfair ground and
put themselves by the bootstraps.
Exactly.
For real.
Turned that boy to an oasis. You feel me?
Yeah.
And that's what we got to do.
We can still do it.
We can't do it because we got trillions of dollars that we spent it. All we gotta do is take the literacy and the responsibility of our finances and accumulate wealth.
We giving them some tools today.
Yeah, we gave him a lot, man. Food for Thought podcast, man. If you like anything like this, guys, please like and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, it helped the YouTube algorithm pushes this content to the masses and people like yourself to actually be able to view this content for the masses, guys. We're going to get up out of here. I'm Credit Coach Q. This is
Loan Officer Who Cares.
Loan Officer Who Cares. Also, you want to say anything to the people before we get out?
Man, I want to just say, man, thank everybody, man. Thank every relationship I've had. Thank every realtor. Thank every referral partner. Thank everyone that I've connected with this year. Thank everyone that I've able to help secure a home loan. We are just getting started. Thank you for those clear to closes. Thank you for the positive reviews. Thank you for your love. Just thank you guys for everything. I'm super grateful. Questions, comments, concerns, www.loanofficerwhocares.com. And it's not just a logo or a business name. I truly do care. Can you dig it?
Can you dig it, man? So Credit Coach Q on all platforms, guys. If you want to find any type of credit approval funding or any type of credit repair videos or anything like that, credit in general content, go to Credit Coach Q on all platforms, guys. And